Hello, beautiful. This is Joya, and this is the Through the Fire series, part 22. So today I would love to talk about fear. Fear. What is fear? And how to face and how to embrace it and how to make contact with it. So when you go through an actual fire experience, let's say you're being evacuated, you, as I just read in a friend's email who was evacuated for 2 weeks, you will definitely go through the fear. Am I going to return to my home? Now, two of them were lucky because they did. I know other friends that did not. Anyway, so fear is all around us. And I remember actually one of my favorite yoga teachers said, the only permanence in life is that there's always fear. There will always be fear. So today I'd like to share with you what to do with it. Because we all, you've gone through fear. You might have even woken up in the middle of the night. Yeah, especially if you experience a natural disaster, you might wake up in the middle of the night because you're experiencing trauma. So one way that I have learned to be with fear is to invite it. So don't push it away. Don't stuff it somewhere, under the carpet. Don't repress it. Invite it. Now, I know that's sometimes easier said than done, because this year I actually had for the first time the experience of a panic attack, or several panic attacks around an operation that I was about to experience. And I discovered different ways how to be with it. So one way how to invite fear is to not be afraid. And the best way to not be afraid is actually to breathe with it. So you shift your focus to breathing deeply in and breathing deeply out. And you might even imagine that you're breathing in the fear and you're breathing out the fear. Breathing in the fear, breathing out the fear. Another way to be with fear is, if you actually had enough of it, to just say, get the hell out of my field, out of my energy field. I don't need you. I don't need these voices. I am so much more than you. And yeah, you find your way to actually, kick it out of the room. Although, as I just said, we don't want to, push it away or shove it under the carpet. But I'm just saying, sometimes that is one solution to be with fear. We just have to kind of become the captain of the sailboat and, take the tiller, the rudder in our hands and say, okay, we are steering the course here. And right now I have no room for fear. And then one other way is, that's actually my favorite one, that you invite the fear into a sacred space. I actually do that in my coaching sessions where we invite the fear in. And we sometimes imagine that actually we look what the fear looks like. Because sometimes the fear shows up like a person. Sometimes it shows up like an energy form. So sometimes it shows up as an emotion. So I invite you to experiment with that, to embrace it, face it. Literally, when you invite it into your space, you're in control. And at the same time, you can imagine that you're just looking at it, meaning you're facing it like you would face a person. And then notice, what happens? There's always movement, and it's so amazing because our bodies always let us know what is happening and what is next. So just be present to the body when you experiment with fear. And what I have noticed when I open myself up and I turn the fear into a friend. Often I've had the experience that my little self shows up at a certain age. And this little self wants to be seen and wants to be heard and wants to be recognized and it wants to be held. And often I've noticed when we actually make contact with it, it starts to sometimes dissolve. Sometimes I feel like it's almost like melting because we're making contact. And if we hold it against our heart, you know, the fear might actually receive an experience of love. And it gets to, as one of my teachers would say, graduate. It doesn't have to be the fear anymore. It can poof, dissolve, melt, can integrate. So enjoy experimenting, playing with these different ways of, facing a crisis, facing hard times, facing a fear, a specific fear. I send you many, many blessings. Mwah. Yeah. And if this helped you, please leave a comment below. You need more support, please reach out to me. And until we meet, have a beautiful rest of the day, afternoon, evening, night, whatever time zone you're in. Much love.